What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the World of Juice Hoops channel, and welcome to a new experiment series that I want to bring to the channel. Now, let me do a little bit of explaining first. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, so you kind of have a little bit of an idea of what we're going to be doing in this little experiment series. But let me give you a little bit of more details so you have a full picture of what we're going to be doing. So, on my main channel, the World of Juice channel, I do a series, and I've done this for now 2 years. I did this on Madden 21 on the PC, and now I am doing it on Madden 22 on the PC, where I take a team and I rebuild them, but the twist is I do it in a throwback fashion. So I call it a retro rebuild is what I call it. Currently, I'm doing the Atlanta Falcons, so I do an Atlanta Falcons retro rebuild. And basically what that means is, on the PC version of Madden, there are mods that you can add to the game. So you can add older rosters and all that kind of stuff that you couldn't do on the base game. And so I took that and I loaded up a franchise, and I started the series off in 2002. So like with the 2002 roster, the 2003 draft class, and we went through it. And we're a few years in. I think I'm on like 2006, maybe 2007 now at this point. And we're just going through, and you play a full season, and then you do the off season and the draft, and it's all there. And then you do like I hope you guys are getting the point. If you want to check it out more, I have a playlist on my main channel for it. So if you want to go take a look at it and see what it's all about. But basically, you start back in the past, and then you rebuild the team throughout the years, throughout the future. So you go throughout each individual year with that year's draft class and not that year's free agency, but you get the picture. So I wanted to do something similar with that in NBA. And since this is my basketball and NBA channel, I thought the best place to have it is right here. So basically, I'm going to take that concept and I'm going to morph it into something a little bit different. I'm going to change it a little bit. So instead of using a real old roster, like in the Madden version, I used the 2002 roster. I've used 2005 before. We started in 2005. I've started in 2006 or 2012. Stuff like, I don't want to start with an actual real roster. So for this series, I started with a fake roster. As you can see, let's go through really quickly on the roster just to show you kind of what I mean. So we are going to be the LA Lakers. You guys already know that because of the thumbnail and the title and stuff. So we're going to be the LA Lakers, but none of these players on any team is real. There's no real person in the NBA. No Joel Embiid, no LeBron James, no Giannis, no Luka, none of that. Those guys don't exist, not yet at least. So basically, we're going to start with this, and as you notice, they have really horrible stats. Every player has really, really bad stats. Some guys have a little bit better stats because I couldn't be bothered to take down every single person's stats in the league. So some people have a little bit better stats than others, but for the most part, none of these guys are good. None of these guys are going to make an impact on a NBA team. So we're starting with this base roster. We're going to simulate the first season, and we're going to spin a wheel. So instead of going through consistently, like let's say we start with like the first draft class, which would be like 1950 or whatever, to get like all the old guys in. Like if we start with like whatever class Wilt Chamberlain's in, or whatever class Bill Russell's in, or whatever class Kareem's in, like whatever first class we start with, we're not going to do that. I have a wheel where it has every single draft class that is good, and it has some ones that are bust, just to throw in a little bit of excitement and a little craziness to the thing. But I have a wheel full of draft classes that I will show you guys when I spin it on the wheel or on the screen, and then you guys will see what draft class we start with. So the first season, the first draft class we will load in will be spun by the wheel. It's not going to go in order. That's one of the twists that I wanted to do with this series instead of the Madden series. I felt like it would be more fun to throw in a little bit of a twist and say, like, the first year we get, like, I don't know, Jason Tatum's draft class, which I think is 2017, and then we get, like, Michael Jordan's class, and then we get LeBron's class the next year after that. So, like, instead of having all these players come in their real life eras, why not throw them all together and have something mixed and mashed and all put together? Like, you could form a team with like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jason Kidd, Shaq, and Carmelo Anthony. I don't know, just random players that came to my head. Like, that could be your starting lineup. Well, there's obviously, you need a shooting guard. Like Klay Thompson, you could have him in there too. So that could be your starting 5. And so I thought that would be a different, more interesting little wrinkle to this kind of format than rather than doing what I do in the Madden series. So I hope you guys understand it. It's fairly easy to understand. You guys will get it as the series progresses. It's not super hard to understand. I may have done a bad job explaining it, but it's not really that difficult to understand. So this first season's kind of a wash because there's really bad players all across the board, and there's no one that we care about. Nobody that we know is going to be in this first season. So this first season's kind of a wash, but we do have to do the wheel spin. So let me just pull up the wheel right here, and you guys will see it right now. There you go. Now you see the wheel. See, this is what I was talking about. You have all of these different years. You can see we have 1979 in there, which I think is the Magic Johnson draft class. 78's Larry Bird. Then we got 2003 down here with LeBron James and Melo and Bosh and Wade, that infamous class, one of the best of all time. We've got 1996 somewhere. There's 1996, which is like Allen Iverson, Kobe, those guys. But then we got some busts in here, like 2012, I think, might be a little bit of a wash of a draft class. 2016 might be in the same. 2015 might be there too. There's some bad draft classes in here, but there's also some really good ones. 1984, Michael Jordan's draft class is in here somewhere, right up here. So yeah, this is gonna be the first draft class that we go. I'm gonna go to the scouting, the prospect scouting, and get ready. So here we go. First spin of the franchise and of the series. Who are we gonna get? Who are we gonna get as our first class entered in? 2005. The 2005 draft class is the first class that we are going to get. So we will fade back in here. All right. The 2005 draft class. I think that's Andrea Bargnani, if I'm not mistaken. And we're not going to use the historic draft class, I don't think, because I don't really think the 2K historic draft classes do that well, in my opinion. They might. You never know. But we are going to search by content. We're going to search 2005. This way, also, we get like Reggie Miller or Charles Barkley or whatever in those classes that they wouldn't be in the 2K version. So this one says 2005, 100% accurate. So this is also on PS5. So if you guys want to follow along with this series too, and you can do that. So we might as well download it. It's got 1,400. Okay, so we got Chris Paul. Oh, this is not the Chris Paul class, is it? Was Chris Paul in 2005? Really? Okay, I guess I forgot about that. But this is a good way to start. We got Chris Paul, Darren Williams, Marvin Williams, Andrew Bogut, Monte Ellis, Gerald Green, David Lee, Danny Granger. Where's the dude that went number 1 overall? Where's Andrea Bargnani? This class doesn't really have a lot of guys in it, actually. Interesting. It's got a lot of guys. Hold on, let me look up the 2005 draft class and make sure I'm not thinking of something else. Okay, so I realized that Andrea Bargnani was 2006. This is the right draft class. This is Chris Paul. Andrew Bogut went number 1 overall in this draft class. So I was wrong. That's on me. I got my year off by 1. So Andrea Bargnani was 2006. Andrew Bogut was 2005. So this is a decent class to start off with. You got some decent players in here. Chris Paul, obviously the star of the class, but also you got some good role players like Gerald Green, David Lee, Danny Granger, Monte Ellis could be a star in this league. So there are some very, very good pieces. And then you got some busts like Andrew Bynum that could also turn out to be something in this. The only thing I'm worried about is this goes down to only 27 actual real life players. So it says it's 100% accurate. But let me see if there's another one, because there could be. What does the actual historic draft class have? Let me go to the actual historic draft class and download it. What do they have? So they have Okay, so they got a lot of created guys up at the top. Okay, so we don't want this one. No, this one's bad. So we don't want that one. We'll most likely stay away from the actual 2K stuff because they don't seem to really do anything. They're not that great with the classes. They just throw them in there just because, I guess. But we'll type in 2005 again, see if there's another one. That one said 100. I mean, it wasn't a bad one. There just wasn't a whole lot of real life players. So if we need to get that one, I certainly will. Let's see, what's another one that has a big... This one has 573 downloads, the second most, and it has 4 updates to it, but this one also has 8 updates to it, so we'll check this one out. What do we got here for the class? We've got Chris Paul, Monte Ellis, who actually looks like Monte Ellis. The other one didn't really look like Monte Ellis that much. Danny Granger, that one looks like Darren Williams. Okay, I'm liking this one a little bit, although that J.L. Green doesn't really look like J.L. Green. Let's go down. There's Andrew Bogut, and he actually looks like Andrew Bogut. Nate Robinson doesn't really look like Nate Robinson, though. Andrew Bynum. All right, this one I'm not mad at. There's Ronnie Turiaf. He looks like Ronnie Turiaf. Okay. I think this one will work. I like this one. I don't hate it. I don't hate this one. I might have to do a little bit of cyber facing to get these guys to look a little bit closer to what they look like. But this is a good one. I'm going to keep this one. This seems pretty fine. So we got the class. You guys saw the first spin on the wheel. Now we have to go and simulate the season and see who gets the #1 overall pick. That's really what we're all here for. So I'm going to simulate the season. I'll probably see you at the All-Star break because just to see how funny it is to see some of these really bad players and see how they're doing. So I'll see you guys then, and hopefully we get some funny stuff happening midway through the season. Okay, so we made it to the AllStar Draft. We're actually 6th in the West right now. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I guess the draft class isn't like super great. I mean, there's certainly some ones where you definitely want to get like top 5 pick, but this one, there could be a piece that we could find in here. We don't have to find anybody though. We could be bad for a couple years. This is all about a rebuild, so let's go to the All-Star Draft and see who's on these teams. The team captains are Team Artem Popov and Team Jimmy Felder. So cool for them. Then we get all the first-time All-Stars because these guys don't exist. So cool for you guys. Good job. This may be your only All-Star. Actually, see, some of you will probably make it a little bit further. So we are going to simulate through the deadline and all that stuff because we're not going to be making any trades because there's nobody that I really want. And there's no contracts that we need to extend or anything like that. So that doesn't really matter. All that stuff does not matter. The All-Star stuff. Here's what the stats are looking like to get a little sense of how the league is going. Our leading scorer is scoring 13 points per game. So that tells you a little bit about how the league is going this first season. Our leading rebounder, though, is averaging 17 rebounds because there's a lot of misses. There's a lot of misses in this league. But if we go to the entirety of the league, which is in this one, is what I wanted to do. So this guy leading the league in scoring at 17 points per game, but the leading rebounder is getting 32.7 rebounds per game. Moses Ellenberg is getting 32.7 points per game. So yeah, that just tells you the quality of the players in this. Here's the one All-Star captain, Jay Felder from the Cavs. Where's the guy for the other team? There he is, Popov. He's averaging 11 and 18, and Felder's averaging 16 and 4 and 15, basically. So pretty respectable numbers. I would have probably put this guy in here, Abraham Dunn, as this All-Star starter, but he is hurt, so he can't be in there. But that's just giving me a sense of how the league is looking for the first season. I'm going to simulate to the off season, and I'll catch you guys at the awards. All right, so we make it to the end of the first season of this flashback rebuild, and we've got Russ Chandler winning the MVP, averaging 16 points per game and 16 rebounds per game. So take that for what it is. Then you got Russ Chandler also winning Rookie of the Year. Moses Ellenberg wins Sixth Man of the Year, averaging 31 rebounds per game and averaging 5 points per game. So that sir is a sixth man right there. Jermaine Jones from the Suns. So the Suns must have been the best team. He wins Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know how this guy doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year. I guess because he only averaged a block, and this guy averaged basically a block and a half. But he averaged 12.5 rebounds. Then you got John Beilein, okay, coach of the Suns, I'm guessing, 68-14. Brandon Harrison wins the Executive of the Year. I'll probably change the Lakers Executive to be me so that it makes a little bit more sense, more immersive, I guess. And then we can continue on. So we got the awards, then we got the All-NBA teams, which you don't really care about. Here's the All-NBA second team if you care. We did have J.C. Myers make an All-NBA second team, so good for him. We did have one player that showed out. Here's all defensive teams. Here's the second team. All-rookie first team. All-rookie second team. Did we get an all-rookie first team? We did. We got J.C. Meyer right there. Yeah, there's your All-NBA teams. Now we got the playoffs, but first let's check the stats really quickly. So our stats, we finished with J.C. Myers. He made an All-NBA team, so he deserves to be the leading scorer. Well, he is the leading scorer. And yeah, this is basically what you're going to see for a little bit until we start getting a lot of these draft classes moving forward. Because this guy has an amazing afro, by the way. This is basically what you're going to be seeing throughout the entirety of this series before we start filtering in all of that quality talent. So this is what our players did, and then we'll go and show you the actual league leaders. So Abraham Dunn led the league in scoring, but Chandler won the MVP because he had better rebounding stats. He had better defensive stats. It looks, actually, no, Dunn had better defensive stats. I guess rebounding put him over the top, but Ellenberg just killed the boards with 31 rebounds per game. That's crazy. Assist numbers not really up there because not a lot of people are scoring that consistently. So not going to be crazy. Not going to be crazy assisting stats, but we can simulate the playoffs because we don't really care. We're not really that fussed. We are in the playoffs. We're the 6th seed going up against the 3-seeded Pelicans. So I guess we could focus on us. We're probably going to lose here. Oh, okay, 3 back, 3-2. We lost. Okay, so now we really don't care who wins the playoffs. I knew we weren't going to win the postseason and win the championship. The Suns win it, so it's not even the guy that won the MVP. It's Donald Martin who takes home Finals MVP for the Suns. So Suns win it in year number 1, but that's kind of a wash because we don't really care about that. Player retirements doesn't really matter. I just made all these guys super old, so actually this might kick out a lot of the league. I did make a lot of guys old, so that's I didn't think about that. That might turn over a lot of the league. Mike Woodson retires. League meetings, make sure that everything's rejected because we're gonna keep everything the same as how it is. The draft lottery, I don't think we're in the draft lottery because we had a playoff run, so yeah, we're not in the lottery. We have pick number nothing. We don't have a first round pick this year. Okay, that's interesting. Staff signing. We don't need to sign anybody, so we can move on to that. NBA draft time. I thought we had a draft pick this year. I guess we traded it in real life, and I didn't think about that. Let me go to roster, trades, future draft picks. So yeah, so we have 2023 first round pick, but we swapped the worst with the Pelicans. Oh, wait, what? So swap worst with Lakers. So the Pelicans get the better of the picks, if I'm understanding that correctly. We don't have a lot of picks coming up in the next couple of years, which is going to suck because there could be some really good players in the draft. But it's time for the NBA draft. We're not going to get anybody, but we might as well see who the Memphis Grizzlies take. I would expect them to take Chris Paul, and they do. Chris Paul is the first player officially drafted in this series. He's going to Memphis. So hopefully they do something cool. Lou Williams, Lemon Pepper Lou, Sweet Lou. He goes to the Raptors at number 2. That's a little bit of a shocker. Monta Ellis goes 3 to the Celtics. Then you got Jarrett Jack going 4 to the Blazers. You've got CJ Miles headed to the Kings, where he played in his career. I don't think he got drafted there. Darren Williams going to the Warriors. Okay, that's an interesting one. David Lee headed to the Magic. Then you got the Charlotte Hornets taking Danny Granger. Okay, at number 8. That's a big pick. Gerald Green headed to Washington. And the 10th pick is Marvin Williams going to Chicago. Channing Frye to the Pacers. Number 12 is Marcin Gortat going to San Antonio. Interesting pick. 3 straight Texas teams here. Martell Webster goes to the Houston Rockets. The Dallas Mavericks take Ersan Ilyasova. who I think got drafted by Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. Charlie Villanueva goes to Atlanta. Brandon Bass headed to the Rockets. So the Rockets get 2 picks in the first round, and they make the use of it, I guess, for whatever it is. Hakeem Warwick going to Memphis. Memphis got 3 picks. Nate Robinson, 5'9" self, going to Milwaukee. Memphis has got 3 picks in this. They might trade this one. Ryan Gomes goes to the Thunder. Andrew Bogut goes to the Grizzlies. So the Grizzlies got Chris Paul, Andrew Bogut, and then one other player. I can't remember exactly who the other guy was. Raymond Felton going to the Thunder. Didn't he get drafted there? I think he got drafted there. Amir Johnson headed to Denver. Andre Blatch going to Miami, my favorite team. Andrew Bynum headed to New York. That's interesting. Ian Mahinmi going to the Cavs. Joey Graham going to the Sixers. Then you got the Pelicans taking Francisco Garcia. I don't think it really matters anymore at this point. I don't know if there's going to be anybody really left that's a real-life player. Doesn't look like it. Luther Head, John Petch. Okay, that's the end of the first round. We'll sim to the end of the draft, and we'll see what kind of ratings we got here. So Chris Paul ends up being an 81 overall. So he's going to obviously be the best player in the class. He's going to be the best player in the league. He's going to be the best player for a while. Lou Williams, Monta Ellis. So the Grizzlies got Chris Paul. They got Hakeem Warwick was the other one. So they built their team. They have their point guard, their power forward, and their center of the next decade if they want it. Hakeem Warwick and Andrew Bogut. Now, Hakeem Warwick is 72 and Andrew Bogut is 74, but who knows? With the league being the way it is, who knows who's going to develop? Who knows who's going to take off and become a star in this league? I don't know. Darren Williams could become a star. CJ Miles could become a star. Anybody in this class could become a star right away because there's nobody. These are the best players in the league now. These are the best players in the league. Obviously, we didn't have anybody, so we don't have anybody to sign on the options. Everybody's going to accept their player options because that's how it is. Free agency. I don't think there's going to be anybody that we want to sign here in free agency. We don't really need to. Player progression, though. Player progression is going to be interesting to see how it goes. We have a very small roster, it looks like. We have a very, very small roster. But the best player in the league is going to be Chris Paul. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how this goes. Advance to the next season. And we got one final wheel spin to end off this episode. One final wheel spin to end off this episode. I hope you guys are ready. Let me just get it back set up for you. All right, here we go. We got the wheel back up, and we already got 2005. So I didn't take it off the board yet, but I will, so I don't forget. So we're going to spin the wheel one more time to end the episode. This is what we're going to start off with next episode. It's going to be 1959. The 1959 draft class is who we're going to get. That is very, very intriguing. Very, very intriguing. I am curious to see. I think that's the Wilt class, isn't it? That's got to be the Wilt Chamberlain class. Hold on. Let me give a little check and see who it is. 1959. Who's in the 1959 draft class? We got 84 downloads for this one, so that's pretty good. Wait, what happened? Who's in the class? It just kicked me out of it. Prospect scouting. Wilt Chamberlain. I knew it was the Wilt Chamberlain class. I thought so. But you also got Bailey Howell, Bob Boozer, Dean Ramsey, Jeb Tyler. Basically, this class is Wilt and Bailey Hawley, I guess, or Bailey Howell, I guess, because they're both A- overalls. But this is the Wilt class. So we're gonna do everything it takes to get Wilt Chamberlain. We are going to do everything it takes in our power to get Wilt Chamberlain. We're probably going to have a good idea of getting that because we have a very garbage roster. So I think we might have a very good shot at doing it. The only problem is our draft picks aren't really there. We do have this swap worst with Lakers, which I'm not 100% sure what it means. I don't know, but I hope you guys are interested in this series. I think it's a cool concept. I'm still trying to work out the bugs, obviously. If you guys have any suggestions or cool things you think I should add to the series or things you think that should be different, or just give me your suggestions. I'm very curious to see what you guys think about this series, but that's going to do it for episode number 1. I also have I should have mentioned this at the very beginning of the episode, but I also have another series kind of in junction with this. It's pretty similar, but it's going to be restarting the NBA back to like 19 whatever, like 19, all the way back into like the early 60s, maybe 1970s even. And then we're going to simulate through the years, year by year, and see how the NBA changes. So I know a lot of people have done that. Click Productions has done it. I think Kenny KOT4Q has done it before. Plenty of NBA 2K YouTubers have done it, but I've never done it on the channel. So I figured why not try and do it, but also do this kind of separate thing that's kind of similar, but it's got its own unique little flavor to it. So I hope you guys are excited for both of those things. I don't know when that episode's going to come out. As of recording this, I haven't even recorded that episode. So I hope you guys are excited for the future of this series and the future of the rest of the series that I have going on the channel with the Cavs and the Thunder. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. Remember to leave your comments if you have any suggestions on how this series could be better or what you would change about it or anything, because we're only in episode number 1, so things could change. And yeah, also link down below in the description for my main channel if you want to go check out that Atlanta Falcons series and kind of get a feel for how this series is mainly going to be shaped around and stuff. Those are the base kind of principles we're going to follow, and then there's room for changes and improvement for this series. So yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.